world over, all our brothers and sisters across the globe, wherever you are. We extend you a very warm welcome. First of all, my sincere apologies. Due to some technical glitches, I am starting 11 minutes late, for which I sincerely apologize from each one of you because I know time is very precious for everybody. And for that matter, I got to be regretting that, taking so much and eating so much of your time, and now coming basically live on the YouTube. Now, Chamber for Service Industry is organizing series at this point of time where we are building up basically the policy part, the planning part, the management part, the education part, the skill part. And of course, at the same time, when you talk about travel and tourism, we are the part of the service industry and we are the part of the MSME. So this evening, this morning, this afternoon, wherever you are world over, we are inviting you and extending you a very warm welcome. We have got Mr. Sam Baisla. He is the entrepreneur. He is the community developer. He is also towards artificial intelligence. And just before the session, when I had a little preview with him, I got some more insight on the fundraising for the SMEs, for the startups. And there is a wonderful, they have got a brand Samosa, kind of a venture also, which he'll be explaining to all of us. With these words, extend a very warm welcome and join me in extending a pleasure to have Mr. Sam Baisla with us this evening. As far as India is concerned, 12 minutes past 9 p.m. My sincere apologies for being late, and that was a technical thing beyond me, and I had to take care of my technical team's help. So, Baisla ji, hearty welcome and a pleasure to have you with us. And let's share your vision. You're an entrepreneur also. You are there for the fundraising also. You're for the SMEs also. You're for the startups also. And at the same time, your brand Samosa also. I would say, whatever you would like to take on, the chronology, you can take it on. My basic aim and objective is how Indian travel and tourism should grow, how more and more youth should come into this particular profession, whether in tourism or in hospitality or in aviation or in service industry. And also at the end of this session, I would request you, if we can move towards northeast part of India, those youth are also looking forward to, to get closer to all of us and to do the best whatever they can to start any venture of their own. With these words, ladies and gentlemen, join me in extending a very warm welcome to Mr. Sam Baisla ji. Hearty welcome.
Thank you very much, first of all, for having me here. It's always an honor and a pleasure to be able to share my experience and expertise with other people. There is a learning that I've had very early in my life, which says that you don't need to burn your fingers to know that fire is hot. There's always a way. You can always ask people who burn their fingers. So I've had my way of life wherein I was banging a lot of doors and banging my head against a lot of walls. And that's how I found my way, because I come from a kind of background where there was not easily available some guidance. But then when people like us who've done enough experiments in our lives and have definitely made a lot of mistakes, we have this wonderful medium called internet. It makes all the more sense to go back to the people who are trying to make it at the moment and tell them that what are the things that we've experienced and the things that we see from where we've reached today. And then it is up to the people. And basically, they can try and minimize their mistakes and fast forward their journeys. So it's an honor for me, and it's definitely a pleasure to be able to share all of those experiences and expertise with the people that are watching us today. So first, thank you and welcome everyone wherever you are watching us. And since this is on YouTube Live, this video will be available for the people to watch it later on also. At the beginning, I asked, what is it that I'm expected to talk about? And it's been so kind of the organizers that have been given the free hand that whatever you want to talk about, it's all up to you. So any instructions, sir, or we should just jump into it straight away?
Please go ahead. All yours. All right. The globe is yours.
Perfect. So I'll not bore you off with my introduction, as I have had my favorite way of introducing for a very long time, sometime now, that, okay, find my name on Google, you'll find out what I do and what kind of work that I've been doing. In summary, I am an entrepreneur. I call myself. I see opportunities, I convert them into businesses, and I help other businesses also in growing their businesses. So over the period of time, about 20, 22 years, I've been working, and I've been able to set up a couple of companies, grow them and sell them off later on. And my experience has been into various industries. Currently, I'm operating from Dubai and New Delhi, of course. And I operate at the intersection of technology, startups, and finance. So these are the three things that I love, and I operate there. One of the companies that I'm running at the moment is Brand Samosa. The company works with startups and SMEs and help them in branding, marketing, and global expansion. So this is what the company does. Apart from that, I am an entrepreneur and a small time like investor also. As an angel, I do. So I help startups in go-to-market and fundraising. So these are the two things that I generally do. Yeah, that's it. The topic of the discussion today is India 24, like 2047, when we complete the 100 years of our independence, where the India would be. And my personal take, because I come from entrepreneurship background, this is what I want to say, that okay, how entrepreneurship can play a role. Now, I'm a firm believer of the fact that India comes from a civilization which is absolutely fantastic, gorgeous, and if you read the history, we've lived through some wonderful times. There was a point that we had about 34% of the world's GDP. We had over 1,000 higher education institutions. People from all across the world were traveling to India to learn. We were having research on quantum physics at that point of time. That's phenomenal. Of course, the things changed. Now we are one of the very poor countries. Our per capita GDP is not very high. And we are so many people. And when I say so many, majority of our population is young people. Thankfully, these young people now have internet in their homes, and we have the largest penetration of mobile phones also. So what happens to a young person when they have mobile phone in their hand and they're powered with internet with it? Now, literally, they have access to almost everything. They can reach out to anyone, they can read anything, they can do anything. And this generation is hungry and they're desperate to make their part in the world. They're very desperate to make a dent in the universe. So I've worked with Americans, I've worked with Europeans, and I've worked with Indians also. And the combination of values that we carry as a young population is very unique about India. We love our culture, we love our family values, and yet we want to go to the moon. We want to conquer the universe. This is a very, very solid, it's a kind of a tree, you have very deep roots. So you're pretty strong, no matter what the storm is, and whatever, you will not be uprooted, you'll stand still. But interestingly, the deeper your roots, stronger and higher you will grow. And that's a kind of culture analogy that I see about Indian young people. So I want to talk about that. When you are uniquely positioned in this particular state of the world at the moment, it's a fantastic time to be alive, because the technology is very new. The social media is about a decade old, or rather 15 years old, I would say. Internet itself is about a quarter a century, maybe 20, 25 years. And computers themselves are about 50 years old. If you see in the trajectory of a human life, it's not a very, very long timeline. The people who were born in early 2000, who are in a teenage at the moment, or maybe early 20s, they have not seen anything of their life. And thankfully, we live a very long life nowadays. The life expectancy is about into 80s, and we're healthy. So the people who are in their teenage 20s and rather 30s, I would also say, they have about minimum 30 to probably 50 years ahead of them. And when I see that, okay, these technology, the combined effect of artificial intelligence, mobile, internet, and you put all of that into a package and you project that into 40 years from now, the world is going to be unimaginably different. And if I'm 22 at the moment, this is once in a lifetime kind of opportunity. And if I want to do something around my dreams, it is literally possible. Never ever in the history of humanity, we've had such an amazing opportunity. I remember I was born in the 80s, and when I was growing up, we didn't have the internet. And if I wanted to find a job, I literally had to go through the newspapers and circle those jobs and then actually visit the office and then sit for an interview and then hope that they'll select me. There were not much of opportunities. If the boss was really bad, I had to go continue the job because there was not opportunity. The population today is bombarded with job opportunities every day. They have so many options that they really don't care. And if somebody wanted to, just dance in front of a camera and be paid like 10 crore rupees in a year for that, that was literally impossible. I've seen artists being literally slapped, forced by their parents that don't follow your passion because you'll die hungry, you'll die poor. And that was the case also. But I see youngsters today just taking up the camera, somebody's singing, somebody's dancing, somebody's painting, and everybody's making a decent living off that. So living a life around your passions is literally possible, and it is doable, and in fact, it's desirable also. People I see quitting their jobs well into 50s, going back and trying to become an online coach or online a content creator and living a very free life nowadays. So one of the things that I wanted to talk, and I in fact keep telling this to young people, that if you're alive today, trust me, factually also, this is the best time to be alive. And there is no reason for you not to follow your passion, because following your passion and building a livelihood around it is literally possible and easy, in fact. So you can follow your passion, be happy, travel the world if you want to, be free, live your life at your own terms, and make money also. Why I choose entrepreneurship is because it gives you the opportunity to actually create jobs and opportunities for other people also. So when I become a business person, I hire 10 other people also, and the money goes back to their homes also. So actually, I'm doing great service to the nation. Now, that is like one thing. I also want to talk about one more thing. If you do not become an entrepreneur today, what's going to happen? So that's going to be a little scary part of the equation. So we are almost 350 million in schools at the moment. And the kind of curriculum that we have is extremely outdated. And the way it is being taught also is extremely outdated. In engineering colleges, for example, they're still teaching the programming languages which were used about 15 years back. And we've had this AI revolution already hitting. And now we have artificial intelligence tools which can literally code the entire thing. Like you can just give a command, say, hey, I want to build an application. In 5 minutes, it can code everything for you. It can write the code. It can build the application. The software engineers are not going to be needed in another 3 to 5 years. Then the jobs that use your brain, the calculation, the accountants, the mechanic, all these clerical jobs, they are already taken care of. There are artificial intelligence models that write copies for you. They write emails for you. They write books for you. There are models that become the customer service executives in front of you, like instead of you. So there are no call centers needed. There are no salespeople needed. There are no software developers needed. And there are no graphic designers needed. We have Canva, any other AI application. You give it a command, it makes wonderful pictures for you. OpenAI has also just released some of the models where they are creating videos and which are very, very high quality, real life. So movie making is going to be automated. Recently, in fact, about 3 days ago, there's a company in America which has released a model which is working on creating a protein which basically goes and changes the very specific gene in the human DNA that we wanted to do. Now, CRISPR is the name. 2019, the CRISPR gene was invented, but we were not able to build that gene at a level which it can be commercialized. In last 2 years, this company in America has actually created trained a model wherein this AI can create those protein genes at a scale, and they have open sourced it. That's the most wonderful thing. So what I see in next 3 to 5 years, anybody can pick up those models and create the genetic reengineering proteins, which you can buy off the shelf, and you can treat human body without the operations at a genetically re-engineered thing. The amount of disruption that artificial intelligence is already creating is unprecedented, unimaginable. What scares me is that the people, vast majority, almost everybody, 350, 340 million people I'm talking about in schools at the moment, who are being put through that education system, they have no idea whatsoever what's going to happen. When in 5 to 10 years, or maybe 15 years, when they come out of the college or the school and they hit the job market, the kind of jobs that will be available, these people will have no skill whatsoever. And I don't care about what the governments are talking about of the world or what the political systems are talking about the world. You cannot create jobs for the skills that these people are gaining at the moment. For the first time in IIT's history, IIT Bombay, 35% of their graduates were not even offered a job. Now, that's a big thing, huge thing, because the companies, the large technology companies, are replacing their workforce, and they're replacing it by artificial intelligence. So my challenge and question to the young people is that if you do not learn these technologies and do not ride the wave of entrepreneurship and following your passion, there will be no jobs for you. There are no jobs for you. At the moment, India has a huge unemployment problem. And the latest report from International Labour Organization suggests that 83% of those unemployed are young people. And these are graduate educated young people. So it's not even a good thing that I'm saying that, okay, become an entrepreneur, you can literally live your good life. I'm saying there is no other choice that you have. And it's a kind of a very strange situation that this is a desirable thing. Why would you not become an entrepreneur, live your own life, make money, travel the world, and have a free thing? The another thing is you can't do anything else because there is anything else that is available. So that's a kind of a very strange situation. Now I'm 40. I wish I was 20 at the moment, because then I would have a lot of time to go back, learn AI very quickly, experiment a lot of stuff by like becoming a content creator on YouTube, and make a lot of money and maybe become a travel influencer and make a good dent in the universe. But nevertheless, I still have a lot of time. But then the younger people have a lot of time to do that. Now, having said that, the next question that comes to everybody's mind, or should come to everybody's mind, okay, so fine, I'm convinced I should be an entrepreneur because it allows me to live life at my own terms. It gives me freedom and control of my own destiny. It allows me to follow my passions and make a living of it. But how, Sam, should I start? What are the steps, and what are the challenges that I'm going to face, and what are the ways that I'm going to conquer this whole new way of doing things? Because my parents have not been teaching me to become an entrepreneur. They've been telling me to go study, get good marks, get a good job, and that's it. And you're saying the jobs are not going to be available, and there's nothing that governments can do about it. And so what is this step? Now, there are two step method that I use for the people who are at the idea stage. And those things, those steps basically are from idea to business plan. Like, how do you convert an idea into a business plan and start working? But before I move on to that, I want to talk about what kind of business you should be doing, what kind of entrepreneurship you should be doing. Now, there's a lot of talk about large technology company founders and CEOs, and they talk a lot from the Y Combinator. And I'm talking about the largest VC and technology companies in the world. But in my personal experience, because I've worked with Americans, Europeans, and Indians both, a lot of those models of way of working does not really fit with the Indian young people. Because we don't have that kind of technical knowledge. We don't have that kind of investment opportunities available. So the Indian young people or entrepreneurship should be working in a very different way. So largely there are three types of businesses that anybody can do.
It's 9:30.
One is a very simple, straight, traditional businesses. Like, find out what people are consuming on a day-to-day basis, find out a way to buy that cheaper and sell it at a margin. People are buying food. You pick up any food item, buy it cheaper, sell it a little bit at margin. Anything related to basic human needs. So we're going to eat, we need clothes, we need like laptop, mobiles, everything. It's a pure trading. So you can basically use the currency conversions. For example, you can import from China, you can export to Europe. There is a huge margin. You can take from, let's say, Haryana factory and sell it to Mumbai or somebody in Bangalore. This is also possible. Or you can do from India to Europe or India to America, or maybe from America to India. India is a growing market. And you can pick up any model, you can simply start selling. At what scale you want to sell that, it's absolutely up to you. You can sell it at a very small level, you can do it at a large level. I have been seeing a lot of business models in this whole category. Pure import, export, trading of commodities. As simple as that. The second kind of business that is available and everybody can do that is to build a business around your own skills. So if you're good at something, and can be anything, you know good sales skills, you can teach other people to sell. If you are good at cracking jokes, you can become a stand-up comedian, or maybe go and create a YouTube channel and you'll be paid a lot of money for that. If you are a good dancer, simply point the camera to you and record your dance, share it on social media, people will pay. It can be around writing, speaking, traveling. You pick up anything that you're good at. Just simply use the social media and internet, showcase it to the people. You will be paid for that. The monetization is a very different thing. We can talk about that. But then companies can hire you for the same thing. The platforms pay you for the ads and everything. There are brand deals. There are a lot of ways that you're paid. And the money that people are being paid is huge. So there are content creators who are being paid up to 50 crore rupees a year in total they are making. Some of them are making even 100 crores a year. And then there are people who are making about 7 to 10 lakh rupees a year. That's still a decent money just by doing something which you love. The third kind of business is basically a classical startup business that normally startup entrepreneurs talk about. And for that, the process is simple. You find out an industry which is going up. Okay. And in that industry, you find out a group of people who you want to solve some problems for. You pay great attention to the group of people, find out the problem that they are facing. And then you ask yourself a question, what is that problem that I can solve using the skills that I have and I'm passionate about? And then you create a business model around it. You write a business plan, you go for fundraise, you raise the money, you build a product, you take it to the market. And this is how the whole thing grows. A classical example would be a Flipkart in India. So there is a growing market. Indians their per capita income was growing. Internet was there. And Americans were already buying online using Amazon. So these two guys who were working in Amazon saw that, okay, why don't we do the similar thing in India? They came to India, created a platform called Flipkart. They were buyers, they were sellers. They brought them together, raised funds, and Flipkart was a very successful startup for India. And anything and everything around that. You take this Oyo, or you take Zomato, or you take Zerodha, you take any other startup, it's pure classical technology startup. Now, one of the easiest things that you can do is to look out to West and see what are the business models that are being successful there and simply copy them to India or any other country. For example, we are pioneers in UPI. And if you just simply take that technology and go to any country which does not have UPI at the moment, which is by and large the entire world, nobody has UPI. So Modi just launched that in UAE and France and probably in Japan now, but the rest of the world does not have UPI. You can go to any country and simply say, hey guys, this is a better way of doing financial transactions. There are very successful business models. Why don't you just do it in your country also? That's a plain, simple way of doing business. But this third way of doing business, which is a classical startup, is fairly complicated, but has a huge reward. I mean, you can literally be a billionaire in a very short span of time. And I can give a lot of examples. So Karan Bajaj, the founder of Whitehead Junior, he was working as an executive in a consulting company. He saw that the Indian parents want their kids to learn coding, some of the Indian parents, and there is this lockdown happened because of the pandemic. People are and students are into their homes. So he created a website which used another website, which is code.org, which is a free tool for everybody to learn coding. He just created this front page. He brought some computer teachers and he marketed the shit out of it. And there were like hundreds and thousands of parents who were buying the computer coaching courses. In flat 18 months, He sold the company for 2,200 crores to Byju's. That's approximately, I think, 400 crores to him personally, and he took an exit. So in under 2 years, somebody went from zero to making about 400 crores for himself. And now he want to do whatever he want to do with that money, but that's the kind of opportunity that I'm talking about. And then there are hundreds and thousands of SaaS examples wherein you build a software yourself, you like only 2 people, you code it, you put it on the internet, it goes viral, and then some larger company buys the company from you. But this is, of course, complicated. And you need to raise fund, and you need to be coding, and you need to know the right industry and stuff like that. So these are the 3 business models that you can pick, and you can go with whichever you want to go. Easiest one is to start the trading. You don't need anything. You know what you're consuming. If people are buying something, just go find out something which is cheaper, buy it, sell it. As simple as that. The second model that I talked about, which is building a business around your skills, is slightly complicated, a little bit longer learning curve, but highly satisfactory and moderately rewarding. The last, which is a classical technology startup space, is the most complicated, but highest rewarding also. And when you are 20 to 30 in between, you're going to find out your groove by actually trying all of that. There is no right answer. I cannot give the right answer. It has to be you. It has to be up to you. There has to be very smart balance of freedom. I love this a lot, and enough money being made. At the intersection of these 3 circles, you will find your sweet spot. And till the time you do find your sweet spot, keep changing that, right? At whatever time you find it. And you have a lot of time at your hand. If you ask me personally, what are the industries that I would put my money on? And I would say, even if you are able to just jump the bus, you will be doing great in your life. There are 2 industries that I would say. One is artificial intelligence. Do anything in AI. It is going to be really, really rewarding and successful. The another one is metaverse. A lot of people are talking about artificial intelligence or AI is just like another hype of like another industry revolution that we've had. So people were talking about crypto, blockchain, NFT, and it's a hype and it's go, it will die. And AI is different. And why it is different is that please understand that when we invented fire, the fire could not make more fire. I mean, fire could not teach itself to become a different kind of fire. When we invented a wheel could not replicate itself, right? A wheel could not make itself smarter. Electricity could not do that, right? We invented electricity. Electricity could not go into the market and say, you know what, I'm going to be a different kind of electricity tomorrow. It doesn't happen that way. Internet could not do that. Computers could not do that. Nobody, no invention in human history so far has the capacity and the power to reinvent itself, become better and smarter. Literally, we have never invented humans because humans are the only species on the earth who can learn itself, become better, become smarter, and then create tools. For the first time, we have something quite similar to that, and that is what artificial intelligence is all about. Just because the world is connected and we have tremendous amount of data, the time that the AI is going to take to learn itself and become better and faster and literally spread across the world is going to be much, much, much faster. And I'll give you one more example. Why am I talking about that? And I want to spend enough time on artificial intelligence because this is so important that people are not even scratching the surface of the kind of impact it's going to create. So it took about 100 years for the television to spread across the globe. It took about 50 years for the computers to spread across the globe. It took about 20 years for the internet to spread across the globe. And after that, after the invention of computers, if you see the timeline that every new technology has taken to spread across the globe, it's been declining very fast. It took about 10 years for the social media to spread across the globe, like literally penetrating about 70% of the world. It took literally 5 days for ChatGPT to have 1 million users. So artificial intelligence today is one of the most, in fact, India is the second highest, users or use cases around AI. And this was only 2022 when the first AI ChatGPT was literally announced, which was any good. So in the 2 years, I'm talking about literally 18 months or less than 18 months, we have AI literally spread across the world. So what is happening now, because the world is connected, anything is spreading faster. Earlier, it was not possible. If I invented something in Europe, I literally have to take a ship, cross the oceans and live, and then reach to India, and then tell them that, you know what, this is new thing that we have. So it used to take about like 15 years, 20 years for something. That's why traveling was so important. But now, if something is invented in America, the entire world knows it within 24 hours. What this means is that anything that is going to happen now, anything, any invention, any new trend, any idea, it's going to spread the fastest. Meaning you cannot look back at your past and say, oh, I have a lot of time. I have this 12 years of school and then 3 years of college and another 2 years of post-graduation to literally understand the language, the computer science, the biology or anything else because I have a lot of time. That is incorrect. That way of planning is incorrect and it's not going to work now. So when I put all those things together and I connect the dots and when I look into the future, I'm like, nobody has any idea what to teach the young kids today. No one has any idea. The least that parents can do is at least not to create an obstacle in the paths or the ways of the young kid. So when a young person goes on internet and finds out a new technology or a new startup or a new idea and gets excited and wants to explore that, my appeal to the parents is that at least don't say, oh, don't waste your time in that, go study, prepare for your exams. Trust me, whatever marks that the young person is going to score in the exam today is going to be absolutely irrelevant. Zero relevance I'm talking about. So if they're not learning, and you see, teachers are not teaching that. The government is not implementing it in the curriculum. So teachers can't teach that. And you as a parent are not aware of it. There is no hope for the young people to learn all these things. The only source that they have is the internet. And if they're finding something new, I would say, please at least push them in that direction, that learn coding, learn AI, learn communication, learn internet, learn content creation, all of that. And maybe you will find your groove when you are 20, 22. That is the only hope that young people have. And that is the role that parents can play in the entire thing. I want to take a pause here and see if there is a question for me, because I'll keep on talking otherwise.
No, it's going on. The flow is wonderful and so much you have touched. And those three different business models which you have given, that is remarkable. Now, over here, you have touched 2 points. One is artificial intelligence and second is metaverse. Would you be kind enough to emphasize a little bit more onto this part as well? Because my tourism is very close to your metaverse.
Oh, yes, absolutely. See, so metaverse is if artificial intelligence were not coming in 2022, metaverse would have been the biggest industry, fastest growing industry now as we talk about. So what happened is that metaverse was the thing. I mean, one of the largest social media company actually changed their entire name around Meta. So it was this big and they were putting the entire future and the money and everything around it. So the hype moved from metaverse to AI. And now the world is talking about AI. Doesn't mean that the metaverse is not moving ahead or something has changed in the journey of metaverse. It's not happening that way. So first, let's understand what metaverse is all about. So it's the umbrella term used for experiences that humanity is having. So anything that you experience, we are now going to have the same experience in the digital world using the tools that we have. So it covers extended realities, it covers virtual realities, it covers augmented reality, it covers online gaming, online travel, online tourism. So it's a combination of everything. And thankfully, what allows metaverse to be so great is that it's the kind of marriage of all the technologies that we have today. And I'll give you a couple of use cases that so that people can understand literally what I'm talking about. Since the day we were born, humanity was born, we have this desire to create parallel worlds. Now we know very precisely what heavens look like, what the gods look like, and there is a system, and then there is the process, and this is what they wear, this is what they talk about. We have elaborate literatures. Nobody has actually seen it, right? And I'm talking about all religions combined. You pick anybody, but this is the clarity that they have. All the ideas that we have about the worlds that do not exist, the parallel universe, the parallel world, the religion, the democracy, the human rights, all these ideas are there. So humanity has this ability and this desire to always think about the worlds that are imaginary and only exist in our imaginations. But we have believed in those imaginary worlds so much that we fought wars on it, and we've killed other people, and then literally we've pushed everything forward. We are here because someday somebody imagined that we should be able to talk to each other just like this without being physically present. So I believe in the concept of double creation, which means that first it has to be created in our imagination, only then it can be created in reality. And that's how everything has happened. For the first time in our history as a species, we have the realistic tools to create those imaginary worlds and imaginary people. So we can literally create a digital AI twin, and that twin can be programmed on everything that I have read and learned in the world so far. It can talk like me, it can think like me, it can behave like me. And then in an imaginary world, this twin can talk to other people who are also digital twins of everybody. And I can customize those experiences, and people can talk, collaborate, work together, fall in love. Reid Hoffman, one of the founders of PayPal, and then very famous inventor, or I should say entrepreneur and investor, like 2 days back, used to create his own digital twin. And there's a video which is going viral on the internet. I invite people to go through, wherein he's trained his digital twin on his books and everything, and then he's talking to the digital twin. So there is a question answer going on between both of them. And literally, it is impossible for anyone to differentiate which one is the Reid Hoffman, the original one, and which one is the digital twin. And that is the kind of possibility that is happening. So you see the application of this. Maybe in another 5 years, I don't even have to do these interviews with anyone or talk anyone. I can train my digital twin, and they can do the interview and they can talk to you. And so this is the combination of artificial intelligence, extended reality. So 3 months back, I think 2 months back, Apple released its product called Vision Pro. Now, Vision Pro allows you to project a lot of things, and you can literally look at your hand, and you can, pierce down the hand, and you can see which veins and which nerves are there. Meaning, if you have to train young kids on surgery or medicine, you don't have to use a dead body and literally, kill people. If doctors need to do a surgery today, they don't have to be physically present in a room. They can use these metaverse models, and they can operate from anywhere from the world. There are already systems available. Watson from IBM, for example, it performs surgeries remotely, and the application in the tourism industry is huge, because if I can just put on this experience, and I don't need to go anywhere. I can, and in the real estate, for example, if I want to buy a house, I can literally have the house in front of me, like the eyes, and I can imagine which corner will have what kind of curtain and where will be my sofa, and it will be absolutely very realistic. And Meta, in fact, 2 days back has released their operating system, and they have open sourced the operating system. So a few months back, they collaborated with Ray-Ban, and Ray-Ban has created the glasses. So I don't have to wear that large headset, only normal sunglasses that we wear. And it has a camera in it. It has an AI built software in it. It learns everything that I'm talking about, and it displays everything. It records camera, it records pictures, it talks to people, it does everything that you and I want to do when we actually are there in the real world. Now, there is a question that comes specifically to the this tourism industry. A lot of people complain and say, oh, you know what? Physically going somewhere and then experiencing is very, very different. You cannot do that from a screen or a camera. I agree with that. However, I have seen 99% of the tourists and travelers going anywhere in the world, they literally take out their phone and they're either creating a video or taking a picture or seeing the entire live event through their phone screen. Nobody is anyways looking at the real thing. They're anyways looking through the phone screen. This is the generation, and you will not be able to change the generation. I'll give you a couple of more examples around these experiences so that the people operating in the tourism industry and understand the impact of metaverse that is already being created. And I'm not talking about future, I'm talking about today. So there is a platform called Roblox. Now, Roblox allows people to create a game and then play a game, right? And just like this PUBG and Free Fire, there are real people who are playing the characters. You know, you choose your character and then you are fighting and you're doing live. This is exactly the same thing that Roblox allows people to do. And there are probably a few hundreds or thousands of games that people can pick and choose and play. Now, I'll give you some numbers, and please, note these numbers. Roblox has 26 million, 260 million monthly active users.
Oh.
260 million monthly active users. And the more surprising fact is the average age of these people. The average age of these 260 million people is 12 to 16 years. Average age. What is even more surprising is that the daily amount of time that they're spending is close to 5 hours. Okay, now put these things into perspective. So you have this 26 crore 12 to 16-year young kids spending on an average 5 hours playing a virtual game with other friends, and they're absolutely comfortable with that. These people are habitual to this. When they grow older in 20s, another 10, 15 years, combine AI into it, and rather than the mobile screen and the computer screens, put these Ray-Ban glasses in front of their eyes. And now imagine the world. So this argument that, we will not be replacing this physical experience things, sorry to break your heart, it has already been replaced. Young people do not care about the real experiences. They're happy with their imaginary world experiences. And the technologies today of the world are actually making it more realistic. I'll add a little bit, tadka into this so that you get the whole pictures. There is a company called Neuralink by Elon Musk. So they have invented that they can put a direct wire or a connection into your brain, and the sensors capture the brain activity and it directs the computer. They've done the successful trials on animals earlier. They've done the successful trials on humans. They've, in fact, 2 months back launched the first video of a person who was paralyzed for a very long time. He was able to use computer, but only by thinking. He was not even needed. Now, if that is something that is available today, now put the helmet around me, put the gaming around me, put the extended reality and visions around me. This is the kind of world that we're going to live in another 5, 10, 15 years. If you are not the person who are preparing for that, you're going to be absolutely obsolete. You're not going to be needed. So that is the scary part of it. The good part of it is that now you know it. And there are opportunities available if you just learn enough about it, because this is the beginning of it. Please understand, there are very few people who understand. There are very few people who know about this, and there are even fewer people who understand a bit of about it. Right? Most of the things that I just talked about today, like on a conservative level, I think about 70% have just bounced off a lot of people, because this is so new. Which basically means the competition is almost negligible. So if you're the guy who just says, "Oh, fine, I'm going to spend 3 weeks learning about everything that is happening in metaverse today, and I'm going to pick one or two things that are relevant to me, and I'm going to spend another month learning that," or probably you will be top 1,000 people in the world already. In the world I'm talking about, because there are very less people who are doing something around it, which basically means that you can create a business around it. You can be the expert around it, and you can be paid for just knowing that much about it. And if you are somebody who's in technology or startup or business, you can go even further for that. There are a lot of companies who are using a lot. So that is about the metaverse thing, and why I say it is impossible for it to be stopped. Because we as humans have never let go of our imaginary worlds, and we will not stop. We are not stopping. We will create those worlds for ourselves. We have been creating those worlds for ourselves. Now we have the tools, and we will create those worlds, and we will live in those worlds. And that is how it's going to be. Probably not in my age or your age, but definitely in the lives of our children.
Yes.
And if I'm addressing somebody in the teen or 20s today, I'm saying, dude, you have 60 years ahead of you. You better buckle up and prepare yourself and go for the ride. This is pretty exciting.
Such a wonderful, engaging, and so knowledgeable. You have made it so interesting, AI to metaverse also. Now, a little bit, because there is an appetizer. You mentioned about brand samosa. What exactly is that? Could you be kind enough to give little insight to this? Because I've been thinking about it for quite some time. What exactly is brand samosa?
See, I am a branding professional, marketing, sales, and branding professional. So, in fact, LinkedIn says that I'm one of the top branding voices across the globe. There's a badge given to me by them.
God bless. God bless.
So when I was starting this company, I wanted to follow the principles of branding. And one of the most important principles of branding is that, you should pick a name which catches the attention. People should ask you questions. It should ring a bell in their head. If the name is very generic, people don't remember, then you failed. By the fact that a lot of people ask me a question, what is brand samosa and why I chose it? I mean, it has done its job. Like 50% job is already done. They remember it at least. I made them curious. The second part of the branding principle that I wanted to follow is that the brand should communicate what you stand for and what you do. So the name communicates that we do branding. That's simple because the name itself is brand. What kind of branding we do? We do samosa kind of branding. Now, what is that? Is that samosa is something that you can have with a hari chutney or a lal chutney or chole or sabji or whatever or without anything. So it goes with everything and anything. So our business and business model works with all kind of businesses. You are a technology company, we're there to help you. You are a small company, we're there to help you. You're a large company, we're there to help you. No problems at all. We have no problems because our methods are absolutely customized for your requirement. The another thing that I wanted to talk about in the name itself is that samosa is something which is your own, right? We feel कि ठीक है जैसे पराठा अपना है ऐसे समोसा भी अपना. So I wanted to communicate that feeling that I'm one of you. I understand your struggles and your challenges and businesses because I come from a background wherein I was the first person to complete 10th standard education in my entire relationship. Like everybody, you go anywhere, I was the first person. I come from a government school, Hindi medium, studied in a village, remote, had to walk 3 kilometers on foot to reach the school. I could not speak English for a very long time in my education. I almost decided to quit. I failed 4 times in mathematics exam in my 12th standard. I had to start working very early because of the family requirements. From that time to be able to build companies with Americans and Europeans and actually guiding and selling them and then selling those companies. I operate at a global level. 300,000 people follow me. I've never been to college to get a degree. I had to drop education because right after when I was in 12th, I had to start working. To be able to speak at IITs and IIMs and almost every large university in the country, it's been a kind of journey. So there are two things that I'm saying by talking about this. One, I know the journeys of people. I have come from those backgrounds and I empathize and I understand the challenges and the pains. And I understand the aspirations. I understand the hunger. I understand the visions behind it. I understand the emotions behind it. So when I work with you, you can be absolutely sure that I'm not going to be alien to your emotions and your challenges. But because I've traveled the world in my way, that coming from a village to building businesses in America, I know what is the best that is possible for you. I've seen the best, I've delivered the best, I've achieved, tasted the best. So I'm not going to be that guy who sits with you and say, oh, you know what, you're asking for average and let's give you average. You can be absolutely sure that I'm going to say, fuck average, you deserve better and let's go for the best. So that's the kind of thing that I wanted to communicate. And I think this is what brandings are, names are all about. We've worked with 260 companies so far. We've done mostly B2B branding and marketing and lead generation, business growth for them. Currently, we are working on a very specific project wherein we are saying global expansion. So if you're a company from India, I push you to explore European, American, and Middle East markets. If you are a company from America, Dubai, Saudi, I encourage and push you to explore the Indian market because we are growing very fast. There are so many opportunities. So I'm talking about global expansion nowadays a lot. The another thing that we are focusing in Brandsmose and other companies also is to use a lot of technology and automation. So there are obviously like about 50% of the business can be automated today. And if you can, you should. There are tools available. So what we do in our team, we study all these tools every day. We experiment with them, and then we find out which tools are more relevant to your business. And then we implement those tools for you. So we can automate your marketing, we can automate your sales, we can automate your customer service, which increases the quality, it reduces the cost, and it gives you the consistency. So if you're a small business looking to growth, this is what you need. You need to go global, you need to create a better brand, and you need to use a lot of automation. So that's kind of work that we do. It's difficult because a lot of people are not ready and willing to understand all these advanced things that I'm talking about. Most of them are like, yeah, we're fine, we're okay, we're doing fine. And hamare yahan to aise hi chalta hai kind of thing. So sometimes I think, why don't you give them the smaller, easy things? But then I don't like that. So it's also about passion. You do business because you want to feel the joy in it. And then that's how we are operating.
Great. Wonderful. Wonderful. Such a beautiful insight you have given. And it's very encouraging for the younger generation. And, being a soldier, my heart always goes to Northeast part of India. As a concluding remarks, if we can come on to, because I always feel that for many years, we left them, as an alien separately and all that. We brought them into fold now. The infrastructure is getting built up and all that. And the places which are available over there, what would you like to tell the Northeast youth, particularly if they want to get into startup or something? And once again, my weakness, my passion and everything, I would talk about something related to travel and tourism, hospitality, hotel business, or maybe having 4 rooms being converted into a paying guest. I'm going to say some venture. And maybe your brand Samosa, if you would like to give something which can penetrate in the Northeast part of India, I'll be more than happy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So my message to the Northeast people is, I have had some connections over there. When I started my first company, we were a sales organization. We were selling to European markets. And the way European market works is that their language is a challenge. They do not speak a lot of English. And their pronunciation is a lot like the way we speak in Northeast. Okay, and then thankfully the English communication skills with the Northeast people is way better, especially the young people. This is my personal experience.
Yes.
So we had a lot of people from Northeast, and they were extremely good assets for us, and they did really, really good job for us. Personally, what I also felt right from my school days, also I was taking the computer courses classes, and I had three friends from the Northeast. I've always found them really hardworking and very honest. Unfortunately, I'm from Delhi, and unfortunately, that is something that I missed here in Delhi. You know, people are not very straightforward and honest. You know, there's always something hidden in what they do and what they say, and that's not okay. But this is the unique point with Northeast
Yes.
people. So these abilities, you know, the good communication skills in English and this transparency and commitment to the work is really strong, and it's appreciated across the globe. You work with Americans and Europeans, they expect you to be honest and transparent. And they definitely expect you to be good and fluent in English. It allows you to communicate with a lot of people. So that's an advantage that Northeast people have. The younger people also have another advantage. For the fact that they've been neglected for a very, very long time, they're hungry and desperate. And in my personal life, I've also seen that being deprived of something, being hungry for something is actually good. It gives you kind of ammunition that you need. You've been into
Yes.
the army. You need that fire inside you so they can channelize into something and point the cannon at something and blast it off. If you don't have that fire inside you, you really don't make the movement forward. So these are like three definitely good advantages. Now, from the business standpoint, every person I believe should start from where they are, and that's only thing that is possible. You really can't start building something by having both of your feet in the air. You need to be moving from where you are, right? So I advise them to look around and make a list of the things that they already have. One of them is they have good communication skills in terms of English. Second is they have internet today. And using these two things, they need to find out what they can offer to the world. And that's a very starting point I'm talking about. And what they can offer to the world are a couple of things. But one of the most important things that I see is that when it comes to tour and travel, India is a large country, and you do not have places which are serene, secluded, peaceful. You go to any place. You go to even the Himalayas and Uttarakhand. In summers, the place is so crowded. I don't want to go there. Northeast is the only place at the moment which is absolutely stunningly beautiful, and I may call it virgin and serene in that way. And there are a lot of people who want to take a flight and spend a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks in the area. So that is the solid opportunity, but there is little innovation that they have to do. And I have thought about like 3-4 business models already, which I wanted to work with the people, and I'll share a couple of them here only with you. So there is a model that I've been working, which is called workation. Now, workation basically simply means that if I'm an executive of a company, after the pandemic lockdown, there's already a trend of work from home, hybrid kind of work model. People expect and demand that. And if I'm a senior leadership position, most of the job is to think. Right. I don't have to have the hammer in my hand and hitting the nails every day. My job is to think, strategize, read, and for that it's important that my mind is calm and peaceful, and I'm at no conflict at all together. So what corporates, the large corporates, is offering or are offering to their CXOs is say, you take a vacation, we'll fund it, take your family with you, probably 3 weeks, 4 weeks, maybe a month or so, stay in a place, just give us 4 or 5 hours in a week so that we can communicate and we can talk. You come online like we're doing it right now, attend the meetings, write emails, and then that's it. Now imagine a kind of situation wherein 99% of my job is only on internet. I'm talking to clients, I'm writing emails, I'm creating content, I'm doing trainings, everything. But I'm in Delhi. So what happens at the end of the day is when my job is done, I go out and I hear the noise of the vehicles, and it's polluted and it's crowded. So when I take a walk, I don't come back fresh.
I don't feel nice. I don't sleep nice. And then there are kids, and I have to take them on a vacation, and they're looking at me, Dad, chutti le lo, ghumne chalte hain. And I'm not spending time with them because the best that I can do is to watch a movie with them. But imagine if I'm living in a place in Northeast and there is a little cottage which is a home of somebody. They just converted that into a homestay. I'm there. I'm doing this in the evening. I will take the kids to the local town. There will be a local folk dance, maybe attend a marriage and eat the local food, watch the stars, take a morning walk into the mountains, be absolutely healthy, peaceful. This allows me to think and be creative and being original. And that's what my job demands from me. My job doesn't demand 8 hours. My job demands 8 hour worth of work, maybe in a week's time. So these are a couple of business models that young people in Northeast can create. They can talk to a village and say, give us these 3 homes. We will renovate all of them. And you don't have to turn them into 5-star hotels because I'm not even expecting 5-star hotels. I've been living in 5-star hotels. And on the contrary, I would want to go live in a hut somewhere, probably for a month or so. There is a growing trend. So you do that, you click nice pictures, you create nice videos of it, and you upload that on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and you make sure that it reaches to 2,000 executives of MNCs, and you book the business, you make money, you make sure that they travel, they have nice experience, and then they give the testimonies. It's a good, solid business for you. This can be a starting point. Another starting point can be that there's a lot of work that US and European companies want to outsource to India. It can be designing work, coding, website development, whatever. These guys can simply create a team. And what I mean by team, they can go to a local college and say, okay, your last year computer science graduates, we're going to take them for 6 months. We're going to train them on coding and programming. And we can do that online, by the way. I can do that from here. They can just give me like 50 people and say, fine, sir, these are the people ready. Train them for 3 months and then make sure that they get the job. I train them for 3 months and then I take the project from US, Europe, Dubai, and I outsource it to them. And they do it from their laptops, sitting wherever they are sitting. This is another thing that can be done. So there is a lot of outsourcing that can be done. And then definitely there are trading. There are unique products that are only built and manufactured in Northeast. They can brand them. So at the moment, the government of India is working on a lot, one district, one product methodology in UP and Bihar. And there is the same model can be extended to the Northeast also. I have had one of my friends once importing the entire furniture made of bamboo and cane. And it was very unique and beautiful. The kind of prices that we got it was unimaginable. So the bamboo grows locally. You don't have to outsource. You have artisans there. They want some livelihood. You just package it, brand it nicely. So the people of Northeast, the businesses will be on the innovation around the go-to market, the branding of what is unique to them. Local problems need local solutions. Local people can find out local solutions because they are the people who face the local problems every day. What they need to do is look around, see local things, and then look global. Okay, fine, I have this thing, I can give it to the global people. I have a house, I have environment, I have serenity, I have bamboo, I have cane, I have language. Provide it. The list can go on and on. You know, that is something that can be done. I am willing to help anyone from simply the idea. If somebody wants to go through an exercise that I take a lot of people to, of how idea can be generated into a business plan, or if somebody is already working on something and struggling at scaling it, I would love to talk to them and figure out how that brand can be built bigger and better, and we can export that even. And if there is technology or something else that somebody want to do, I'm your guy. I'll be more than happy to work with you on that. Just let me know. You can find me on Google, type my name, Sam Besla, and you can reach out to me anywhere on my social media platforms.
Wow, great. Such a wonderful session, such an engaging, such an enriching, such an enlightening, such an informative, and such a futuristic session. I'm so obliged, and thank you very much for sparing your time and sharing your present and future. And you have taken the artificial intelligence and metaverse also so nicely. And now we have touched the northeast part of India also. I'm very happy because a lot of people joined from northeast. So they should feel very happy that we have done justice with them as well. They always look forward to coming into the main fold, whatever we can do from our side. We look forward to working closely and moving together. Thank you very much and look forward to such more engagements and sessions in near future as well. Thanks for coming, Sam Baslaji. And I'm grateful to our friend, who connected us. I'm so grateful to him because Saurabh is a wonderful person. He had been my student earlier and is very, very encouraging and very innovative child. Thank you. Thanks for coming and all the best for your ventures. And we'll keep certainly following your, what you call LinkedIn profile because whatever you're posting over there, I saw quite a bit of it and your social media. Thanks. And with these words, Jai Hind,